Welcome back, everyone. Today we are doing Dinosaur tier list part 2. Alright, now, if you want to see part 1, it's going to be in the top right corner. It did well, so we're doing a part 2. And make this video do well by liking and subscribing if you want to see a part 3. But to see a part 3, you got to see part 2, so let's get started with part 2 with Diabloceratops. Alright, now, this guy we named the Devil Horn Face. That's what Diabloceratops means. And as you can see, it has like them horns coming off the face, and it has like the weird curved horns coming off the top, which looks really cool. That's really going for the aura. It's only like 15 to 18 feet long, and it's like 1 to 2 tons. So it's not like the craziest. It's not like as big as like a Triceratops or something, but it is like, it's still like the size of your average car. If you're driving down the road in your car and then this thing pulled up on you, that would be aura, I ain't gonna lie. But it's not crazy. The horns are pretty sick. I do like the design. It is growing on me. I hope it does appear in Jurassic World Rebirth, which if you want to see a video on Rebirth, the upcoming Jurassic World movie, make sure you like and subscribe, alright? So you don't miss it. But there's rumors that it might appear in that movie, which I hope it does. It would be peak. But yeah, we're gonna put this into B tier. All right, it does have some aura, but it's not like the Vlar. If it was like as big as the Triceratops, it would go into A tier. But it's like smaller, which smaller doesn't always mean that has less aura. But relatively speaking, it's gonna get like compared to a Triceratops, it's gonna go in B tier. But let's move on with Psittacosaurus. It's about, there's many species. There's like 30 different, like 15, 12 different species. I think that's right. It's about 6.5-ish feet long. So it's taller than the average height of men and women. So it's not taller. Like it's like longer, like lengthwise, it's taller than we are. If you like laid it up on its head and grabbed it by its tail, it would be taller than us. It's about 44 pounds, give or take. So not very heavy. You'd think something that like as like large as us would be heavy, but I guess not. Its name means parrot lizard, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know if parrot lizard is aura, but so they have quill-like bristles on their tail, and that's pretty interesting. Every time I see them, like if they don't have the quills, I don't know. I like the quills. I also don't like the quills. I don't know. It's like 50-50 on if the quills are goated or not. But they could be semi-aquatic. They're herbivores, and they could be semi-aquatic. That is really cool. Like a herbivore, this little guy swimming in the water. You know how cool that would be? Absolutely goated. But for aura wise, I don't know. If you saw these things, there's like just like little buddies, you know, like little doggos, little bellies, not belly, little buddies. We're gonna have to put them into D tier. I don't see them having that much aura, especially comparing them to the stuff that comes up later on the list. I don't think they have that much aura. Next up on our list, continuing with the smaller size creatures, is the Amargasaurus. Now, to human standards, they're not small. They are 30 to 34 feet long and weigh 2 to 4 tons. But for sauropod standards, they are like small. They are really, really tiny. So now one of the cool things about them, which not many sauropods, but most sauropods don't have like any like, they have these neck spike things. Like it could either be like a sail kind of. Like it could either be skin or like no skin between these spikes on their neck, which it could have been used for display. It could have been used for defense, or it could have been used for display. Either one. It does look pretty cool. It is definitely one of the cooler looking sauropods. So it's definitely cool. For aura wise though, I don't know. Again, it's not that big. It's like the size of an elephant, I think. So we're gonna put it into C tier for aura. And we're gonna put it into C tier because it doesn't have as much. I know we're gonna put it into B tier. I see it in a similar vein as Diabloceratops. Next up is Utahraptor. Now, these are about 20 to 23 feet and weigh 1,000 pounds. That is insane, all right? They are the largest raptor species to have ever been found that we know of, which is insane, dude. This raptor was huge, all right? Now, if you've seen Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, which I'm guessing you have, the velociraptors in the movie are not accurate at all. Size-wise, they don't have feathers, any of that jazz. This is a bit larger than the raptors in the movie, and some people say they're based on Deinocheirus. Some people say it's based on Utahraptor, but I mean, it couldn't have been based off of Utahraptor because the species was found after, like, they didn't think that raptors could actually get this large, and then like scientists didn't think that raptors could get this large, and then they found this raptor species after filming of Jurassic Park, which is really interesting. They're like, oh yeah, raptors couldn't get this big, and then they found a raptor that big. So that's pretty cool. But also, it's obviously hunted in packs. So imagine like 4 20-foot long creatures hunting you down. That's aura. And it's a raptor, which we all know how dangerous raptors are on their own. So we're going to put it into S tier. That is S tier aura. I can't even lie to you. Next up is Deinocheirus, all right? They're about 36 to 40 feet long, which pretty lengthy boys. They're actually one of the largest theropods to exist. Like, they rival, like, the likes of Giganotosaurus or T-Rex or Spinosaurus, which is pretty cool. I mean, they're 6 to 7 tons, but they're pretty cool. Their size is pretty cool considering they're omnivores, all right? They eat fish and plants. So essentially, they're just giant ducks. Giant dinosaur ducks. Now, if your name's John, I already see you typing out in the comments that ducks are technically dinosaurs, but your name's John and no one cares about your opinion. So we're gonna continue. They had this nice old, like, they had feathers. Mostly, they look a lot cooler if they have feathers than them being like scaly. So, and most depictions of them are with them having feathers. So they look like a duck. Their face looks like a duck, and then they have this cool like kind of hump on their back. There's just one really cool artwork that I saw. It looks really cool. It should be up on the screen now. I mean, as you can see, it has like they're in a swamp. They live in swampy environments. So like giant swampy dino ducks. Not much more to say. I'm gonna have to put them into A tier though. Now, yes, they are really cool, but like, which one has more aura? If you're walking along in a forest, which one has more aura? Now, let's say swamp. A pack of Utahraptors or a Deinocheirus? I'm gonna say the Utahraptors. Slightly. Like, Deinocheirus is barely missing out of A tier. Just barely. No, not A tier. It's barely missing out on S tier. What's not going to be missing out on S tier is Shantungosaurus. 49 feet long, which is absolutely insane. You guess how much it weighed? All right, you guessed? All right, it's 12 to 20 tons. That is insane. This is a hadrosaur, by the way. This is like, you know, Parasaurolophus or Edmontosaurus? This is like a giant beefed up version of those. This is like a hadrosaur on steroids, dude. It's insane. Their name means Shandong lizard, probably based off where they were found. And they are the largest non-sauropod dinosaur. So they are the largest dinosaur to exist that wasn't a sauropod that we know of, which is crazy. All right, these things, like if you see like movies and stuff, you know that like the hadrosaurs or the parasaurs or all that jazz, they easily get taken down by carnivores. This thing, well, I mean, they in real life they wouldn't easily be taken down, but this thing, you're a full-grown adult, dude. It would be very difficult for like a T-Rex or a Tarbosaur to take this thing down. And it's huge, dude. It's 12 to 20 tons and it's 50 feet long. That is just absolutely mind-blowing. Like T-Rexes probably wouldn't have hunted this thing. They would try, but like this thing, dude, it's insane. We're gonna have to put this in S tier. I'm not gonna lie to you. I see Shantungosaurus. You're just walking again. We're gonna keep using to walk along the road. You know, you see this a herd of these things, which they might have been herd animals. I don't know. But let's pretend you see a herd of these animals coming at you. You're absolutely cooked, dude. Like, they have so much aura. Like, you're gonna be stuck in that traffic like block or whatever, traffic jam, for like a good hour, dude, before they pass. Because that's how huge they are, dude. Like, what are you gonna do? It's insane. But let's move on with Concavenator. All right, they're about 16 to 20 feet long, so a bit on the smaller side. They weigh about 710 to 880 pounds. All right, now. Two cool things about them other than what they look like, because they look absolutely peak, especially this design from Jurassic World Evolution 2. Absolute peak design, dude. But they're Carcharodontosaurus, which is going to play a factor in the next creature on our list, but the Carcharodontosaurus, so they're related to Carcharodontosaurid and Amargasaurus, all those dudes. And they have their cool thing is, well, there's multiple cool things, but one of them is that they're on the smaller side of Carcharodontosaurus. Another cool thing is that they have the hump that they have on their back, which that is pretty cool. And then the third cool thing is they have the possible quills on their arms, but another likely outcome would be that it's just like muscle attachment, you know, it's like what the fibers could attach to on a skeleton. We don't know 100% yet. It would be cool either way. Now for aura, I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna have to put it into A tier. It's not S tier material. Concavenator is not S tier material, but it's definitely A tier material. What's the next dinosaur? Well, it's a Carcharodontosaurus. Now, about 39 to 43 feet long, which is, again, big. About 5 to 7 tons. A big old boy. A big old chunky boy indeed. They lived about 193 million years. 100 to 93 million years ago in what is now North or like northwestern Africa. Their name is pretty important. It means shark-toothed reptile, dude. Which I don't know the speech. Like a great white shark is like a Carchar something. So that's pretty cool. It's like their teeth look like sharks. Now, they also lived with the Spinosaurus. Now, if you know about Spinosaurus, it's a big old dude. Pretty crazy. So this thing lived with and probably competed No, not exactly competed. Let me explain. So, the Spinosaurus, as you probably know, is a semi-aquatic creature. It hunted in the waters, you know, hunted fish and all that jazz. Now, the Carcharodontosaurus hunted on land. It hunted like sauropods or any other creatures they could find during that time period. So, they kind of like coexisted, but of course, they could have still fought. And honestly, pretty sure the Carcharodontosaurus would have won. I don't know. I don't know. I love me a Spino. I can't lie. I love me a Spino. Spinos are goated. But I feel like the Carcharodontosaurus would win. So, yeah, we're gonna compete. It was in one of the most dangerous time periods. Like, one of the most dangerous places in, like, the history of the world, you know? And, it did pretty well. It competed pretty well with Spinos. So, we're gonna have to put it into S tier. Next up is Sinornithosaurus. This thing. I don't know how to say it. It's about 4 feet long. It's about 6 to 11 pounds, which if you know the chuck test, if you watch the prehistoric fauna aura tier list, which is top right if you haven't, essentially the chuck test is, if you can pick this thing up and chuck it like a brick, it doesn't have that much aura. Doesn't matter what it is, all right? You can pick up a rock, chuck it like a brick, might not have that much aura, unless it's like a piece of uranium, you know? You can pick up a frog, chuck it like a brick. No aura. I'm sorry. And this thing is 4 feet long and weighed 6 to 11 pounds. That thing is getting chucked like a brick. All right. I see that coming up to me. It jumps. I grab it and then I chuck it like a brick. Now it might not be easy for you to be able to chuck this guy because they might have venomous teeth, like venomous, which it's thought to be venomous because they have this like sort of grooved teeth, but they might not be venomous because no archosaurs have been venomous. There have not been any found archosaurs. Which, no venomous birds, no venomous crocodiles, and those are both archosaurs. No venomous pterodactyls that we know of. Yeah, like the pterodactyls. So those are all archosaurs, I'm pretty sure. And we haven't found them to be venomous. Now, they could have a toxic bite, but that's different from venom. That's like, you eat like a plant or insects or something, and then it gives your bite like some kind of toxin, you know? But that's like based on, you're not born with the venom. That's like toxicity, which multiple dinosaurs could have had toxicity in their bite, so that doesn't count. I'm not gonna play that into a factor of their aura if many other dinosaurs can do it, which is possible that was venomous, but I don't know. Now, I'm not gonna take that away from it because it most likely could have been able to glide. There have been creatures that we have found that are larger than this that have been able to glide, and smaller than this, like close relatives that are larger that are able to glide. Microraptor was able to glide. So this thing was probably able to glide. I mean, they might have hunted in packs. So, like, imagine they're into trees and you're walking along, and then, you know, boom, a bunch of maybe venomous creatures jump you. That's kind of aura until you take into consideration the chuck it like a brick test, you know? I'm sorry, I could easily chuck them like a brick. We're gonna put it into D tier because they are tiny dudes, but if they had venom, if we like knew for 100% certainty that they had venom, they'd go into C tier, but we don't. So we're gonna put them into. We're gonna put them into C tier because they're like tiny little dudes that would hunt you, like could hunt in packs and then glide down from the trees. That's kind of aura on its own. We'll put it into C tier. Next up is the Baryonyx. All right, they're about 25 to 33 feet long, weighed 1 to 2 tons, and their nickname is Heavy Claw. Now, why? It's because when they were the paleontologists, they were digging up the fossil, they found this giant claw, which were probably used for hunting fish, which is what the Baryonyx ate. They might have eaten like other smaller creatures. They could have like scavenged other creatures, but they were mostly piscivorous. So kind of like bears or like storks maybe, which they weren't like bears and like the way they acted, more like how they hunted fish. But they are pretty cool, I will say. Baryonyx is it's like a Spino. It's a smaller Spino without a sail, so it is pretty cool. But now for aura, how much aura does it have? Now honestly, I gonna lie, this thing has A tier aura. All right, you were walking along and then in the waters, you know. You see the Baryonyx. That's aura. Can't lie. Or multiple Baryonyxes. We don't know if they live in packs, though, or groups. So yeah, we're going to put Baryonyx into A tier. And that is going to be the end of today's video. Now, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. All right, like and subscribe. Make sure to do that if you want to see more. Go check out any of the other videos. But in case you don't do that, in case I don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.